After Jam Show with Trevor Benji with you here. And I'm here for a special interview that's happening from now 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. And with me in the studio right now is a special guest from an organization that's been pretty much at the front lines of the fight against corruption here in Papua New Guinea since 1997. With me in the studio right now, we say a big good afternoon to Elizabeth Aribi, who's the Civic Engagement Lead for Transparency PNG. Good afternoon, welcome to Tribe 92 FM.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for having us here.
Okay, we'll tell me real quickly before we get into more of our discussion. Have you been here once before, or is it the first time for you to be here?
Yes, first time here. Just came for a tour once, but not interviewed. So it will be my first time on air, but very happy and very enthusiastic about it.
Okay. So tell me about. Firstly, tell our listeners and myself about your role at Transparency International PNG and what you do.
Thank you very much. So my role or my capacity at Transparency International is, as mentioned, the Civic Engagement Lead. I've been with TNPNG for more than 3 years collectively, but I've been a follower and a member since high school through the Youth Against Corruption programs that were held more than 10 years ago, I guess.
Okay, wow.
But yeah, civic engagement is really the youth arm of Transparency International, plus engaging with other church organizations and CSOs or NGOs that are interested in the work that we do at TI.
Okay. So that's what you do at Transparency PNG. And the other day I was scrolling through Facebook and I came across a post about a democratic camp. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Has there been any camps like this in the past before?
Yes, they have by various organizations, but the Mike Penny Youth Democracy Camp is our flagship youth engagement program. It started more than 15 years ago, since 2008, and has been since. Every year we hosted that camp. We started, the camp was, when we started the camp, we held it first in Goroka, then moved it to Ley, and now it's back in form. But it's a 10-day program which brings in more than 45 to 50 young participants, so young Papua New Guineans from around the country. It's a hands-on program for teaching our young people on life skills, plus building a capacity in understanding what the democracy is, how government is formed, how our budgets within the government is formed, and the elections as well. And many other topics that bring to a young person's understanding of how our country is formed.
Okay, so you said life skill. What sort of programs will be run there that involve life skills?
So life skills, in a sense, we're building the understanding of integrity. And building the understanding of how we as young Papua New Guineans come together and form a coalition that can help break that cycle of corruption, or break that cycle of injustice that happens within the country. So over the years, we had more than 450 young people attend this program, and
in total,
and then moved into various organizations and various wherever life has taken them. But we believe that once they have gone through this 10-day program, we build in them, and they take with them an understanding, and also they take out to the country and become better and more active citizens within the country and within the spaces and the families that they build.
I also like the fact that we're also incorporating how the government works, because a lot of young people today don't really know a lot of these things that affect their future. So the fact that you guys are, in this Mike Manning democracy camp. You try to teach them about that. I believe that's a step in the right direction, definitely.
Yes. So how we select our participants.
That's my next question. Thank you very much.
So our selection criteria varies, but we really look at young people who are between the ages of 17 and 20.
17 and 20.
Yes. So teenagers and young adults. Yes.
Okay.
Have good verbal and written skills. And they must have some sort of, they must belong to a community or be part of a school, their school, or have some sort of exercise some sort of leadership roles within the young leaders, become young leaders within the community. They must have they must be committed to share knowledge and experience and learn from others. They must be willing to participate in all our activities. And they must be responsible and accountable. That's through the camp.
Okay, so how exactly does it work? Do they nominate themselves, or will they? How do they get selected?
Okay, so a month before the camp, we release a nomination form, and we ask that they be nominated by the youth leader or the school administration, but they must be nominated by a group. They can't
nominate themselves.
Yeah, they can't nominate themselves. Yes, but they must come. The emphasis is that they come from an active group, and yes, once we receive those nomination forms, and by the way, our nomination forms is on our website. And also you can get in touch with our office to get a nomination form, or visit us at the office at Transparency International to pick up a nomination form. So after a month, the nomination closes and we run through a screening process to select our participants.
Okay, so for this year, for next year, it's happening next year, right?
Next year, January, yes.
Next year, January.
2024, yes.
For how long again? So
it's a 10-day program. So it starts on the 15th of January and ends on the 25th of January. Yes, so just before school starts.
So holidays.
Within the holidays, right after Christmas.
Right.
Yeah, so we booked up that time, so it gives us a good start to the year, and it probably makes it easy for us to track our participants and how once they go back into the communities after the camp, what they're doing. So it gives us a good year to monitor and also to learn of their experiences as well.
Okay, the camp is happening in Port Moresby, correct?
Yes, correct.
What about if there are interested youths that want to take part, but they're based outside of Port Moresby? How does that happen? How does that work?
Thank you for that question. So we accept nominations from all over the country. Throughout Papua New Guinea, wherever you are. We're so thankful for technology that it makes it easy for them to send their nominations through via WhatsApp or through our website or email especially. But yeah, wherever you are, we're so privileged to have our donors come on board, which provide avenues for us to fly our participants in. We take care of their accommodation, plus every other thing that comes with running a camp. So we ensure that the venue or the place that we book to run this camp is very conducive, not only for those who are physically able, but all those that are physically
challenged.
Yeah, challenged. Yes. Sorry about that. But yeah, very open, and we encourage everyone to nominate, and also if you're selected, to participate as well.
Okay. So if the ones that are selected outside of Port Moresby, they will be flown in. The
Yes.
TAPNG will cover the cost of them.
Yes.
Traveling in.
Yes.
Okay. And the accommodation and everything, they'll be taken care of, right?
Yes.
That's nice. So if you're listening in right now, if you're a young leader Don't forget to fill out your nomination form. That's currently, you can find it on their website and
Yes.
also on Facebook as well.
Yes.
The links are on Facebook. Am I correct?
Yes, so you can check our website, the Transparency International website. You can download the form from there, or when you see our flyer that's on our social media pages, or if someone you know has shared it, reach out to us on the numbers that are provided and the email address that's provided, and we'll immediately send you a nomination form for you to nominate whoever you'd like to represent your organization or your school at this event.
On nominations, can people also print them out and give a hard copy?
Yes.
Is that also acceptable?
Yes, it is. You can make copies of the nomination form if you have one, and if you know of a group or a school that doesn't have the facilities for printing, please, you can do that and share the information, and then they send the nomination forms in.
Okay, with this Mike Manning Democratic Camp, what is TIPNG's end goal for that they hope to achieve by the end of this Democratic Youth Camp?
So at TIPNG we have a mission, and that is to empower people in Papua New Guinea to take action against corruption. And that, with that mission in mind, we'd like our young people to stand up. We'd like our young people to start taking action. And that's really the essence of the camp, bringing forward anti-corruption strategies, but also bringing forward skills through, we also have workshops, drama workshops through the program, how they can use those skills plus social media or whatever resources they have to bring forward awareness on how you in your community or your school can take action against corruption. It's a need.
Yes, it definitely is.
And this is one way of us providing that avenue for young people to learn, but not just to learn, but to go back to network and pass on the information that they have.
A chunk of our population as well, so it's vital that they have these skills that will definitely go a long way in pretty much the future of the country. And also the Mike Manning Democracy Camp, what's the significance of it being named Mike Manning?
Okay.
Mike Manning Democracy Youth Camp.
So that's a really good question, and I'd like to share with our young people especially. We love to promote our Papua New Guineans who are real anti-corruption fighters, who are really vocal about the issues that surround our countries and the issues that we're facing. So Mike Manning was the death of the organization, our founder and our chairman, Sir Anthony Siagoro. So Mike Manning has been was on the board, very vocal about all the issues that surrounded or that were happening in our country during that time, like the improper use of public funds and corruption in general. So the significance of how the camp was named after him. So during that time, there were the idea of having a youth camp was floating around, and then
with the youth camp, they'll know a bit more about who he is. So yeah. So, thank you. But before we get to wrap up, do you have anything else you'd like to add on quickly to our young listeners that are tuning in right now? To encourage them to take part, or do you have anything to say before we wrap up our discussion?
Yeah, yes, definitely. Okay. So we are anticipating 50 young people to be part of this camp. Next year in January, but that's not the last one. Over the every year it's an annual program, so every year we will host this camp. But we also like the young people to raise questions. Also, come to TIPNG, ask questions about what you're curious about. also be part of discussions that we may raise, we may have on our social media pages. We currently have our Mike Many Youth Democracy Camp Facebook page, which after this we're going to push out topics and discussions on what we will run during the camp. But do not be discouraged if you nominated if you sent a nomination through and it wasn't accepted. There is still time, and we have many programs at TIPNG that you can be part of. We're a membership-based organization, Transparency International. So if you really want to know more about TIPNG, become a member. And then we'll feed to you the projects that we're working on, information, so much information that we have, and perhaps maybe you'll need one day. We're open to sharing what we do.
Okay, I'm really interested that you said that this is not just a one-off, and there'll be more in future.
Yes.
So don't be disheartened. There's always more. There'll be obviously other youth democracy camps in the future as well. Okay, well, thank you so much for your time. It's been awesome to have you here live on the After Jam show. Thank you so much for coming here and visiting us in the studio. And for all our young listeners tuning in right now, not only our young listeners, but all our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you heard something worthwhile. Okay, but this is where we get to wrap up discussions with TIPNG. Thank you, Elizabeth Aribi, once again for joining us. More of the After Jam coming your way.